What's going on today, Internet? I got another beer review for you. Today we're doing a follow-up to the green label Hopocalypse that I already drank. This is the red label. What's the difference? Well, we're going to go ahead and give this thing a taste test. I'm going to be opening it with my tried and true Gropener for one-handed beer opening. That's not a paid advertisement either. I just love the damn thing, so you all get to hear about how much I like it. All right, so drinking it out of a Spiegelau IPA glass, which is proper for the style. Now, the green label Hopocalypse is Drake's Brewing out of San Leandro, California. It is their seasonal double IPA that they do in February, March, April. And the red label, which is this one right here, is the same base beer, but with blood orange added into the brew. So this beer was bottled on April 3rd, 2017, so it's about 29 days old at the time of filming this. The beer itself clocks in at 9% alcohol by volume. It's 87 IBUs. It is 18.5 degrees Plato as the original gravity, and the final gravity is 2 degrees Plato. And I can tell you the bricks on that, but it's really simple. You can look it up, or I'll put notes down at the bottom. But let's go ahead and actually give this beer a taste before the head goes away. The aroma is pure blood orange and IPA. I mean, if you smell it, it smells like citrus rind blood orange. It's very, very pungent in your face. And since this beer is also unfiltered, which I forgot to mention, there's little floaties of hop particle and little bits of yeast in there. It's all the good stuff. So the taste is fantastic. It is very nice and dry. For an IPA, very nice and dry. It's very, very traditional West Coast style IPA up front. You've got your piney and your citrusy style hops. So like Centennial and your Amarillo, Citra, Cascade, those kind of hops. You got that big kind of aroma, the 4 C's basically. You get those straight away in the character. It comes across as a traditional West Coast IPA. But where that changes is with the blood orange. The blood orange is nice and juicy, but also very bitter. It comes across when you drink it as having this nice, juicy, tart citrus character that's not from hop, it's actually from the fruit, which really balances out everything about this beer. Now, you'll also notice when you drink this beer that it has a little bit of honey malt note, a little bit of sweet honey on the back end, without being over the top and far too sweet. It's very drinkable. And the color is absolutely gorgeous. It's a very, very nice copper color without being too dark. And you can see on this Spiegelau IPA glass that the lacing is perfect, the head retention's perfect. It's just working its way down the glass as I drink this thing. So I want to talk about this real quick. Keep this short, unlike the Saison one, I went on a tangent. There's a big misconception about the history of IPAs. You'll hear a lot of people say that it's a beer that was brewed by a brewery in England that the East India Trading Company used. And the people in India, the British in India, liked this beer so much, you know, they wanted to get it again, so hence the name India Pale Ale. That's not the case. People will typically cite that as adding more hops into the beer to make it have a longer shelf life, so it made it across the seas to get to India. That's not true at all. The way that this was done for these beers is back in England, there were traditional bitter style ales. And that's basically where the birth of the IPA came from. Now, the beer that we all know as an India Pale Ale was basically an old British pale ale that was hopped up a little bit more from one specific brewery. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, forgive me, but that's the story. And it became known as the India Pale Ale because all the sailors who worked for the East India Trading Company really enjoyed this beer, and the style therefore took off, and it was named an India Pale Ale. Modern India Pale Ales, although in spirit, are descendants of the English pale ale that was hopped up. They are nothing like those beers anymore. They have been hopped way, way beyond what they were doing back then with the addition and invention of hop oils and things like that. You're gonna have a lot more resinous, sticky, and dank IPAs. And this ticks all the right boxes for me in an IPA. It's easy to drink, it's not super bitter, but it's balanced and complicated enough to keep you coming back for more. It's not just a one sip and you're like, yep, it's an IPA, it's Christmas trees and citrus. That's not this at all. This beer is very, very nice, it's very balanced all across the board. And if you see it in bottle shops, go ahead and pick this thing up because it's very good. In fact, pick up any of the Hopocalypse series, they're all very tasty. All right, and now, for those of you who are new to the channel, this is a new series that I'm kind of experimenting with. It's called HomeBrew's Brew Reviews. If you guys like this series, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, whatever, if they're craft beer people. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. Tell me what you don't like, things maybe you want improved on, or maybe you just want to see the series die a painful death. Doesn't really matter, I just would like some feedback on this. As always, guys, thank you for your continued support. I really appreciate everything you guys do. If you have any questions, comments, just go ahead and leave them below. As always, this is Chris. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.